The search for the next Pope and Young buck starts now. Well, everyone, welcome to Archer's Quest. I'm Randy Fish. So I went ahead and pulled a card. Actually, I pulled two cards. Pulled them back on Monday, which would have been the 13th, 14th of July. What happened was I had some time off, and I needed to go in, trim up some shooting lanes. So when I was there and I was trimming up the shooting lanes on some stands and doing some other things, I was near a couple cameras, and I don't know, I usually don't go check them, but I did. I went and grabbed these two cards. I also put a couple other cameras out. So what I'm going to do today is we'll just kind of go over and look at them and let you all kind of see what you think. I'm going to take and reposition the camera so you can get a better look at it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's see what we got. What I did now, is just so you know, is I went through the cards and I picked out just the buck, since, you know, this is titled, you know, the next search for the next Pope and Young buck. Get us away from all those 9,000 does. This picture here is not real good, but it does show me that the height of his antlers is real good. And a lot of times I think when people look at photos, they don't take in everything they show. And we'll get to that later. Here I'm looking at him. He's got good width. This could be a potential. I mean, it's only the 11th of July according to the date on the camera, which everything should be right. They are moving at night mostly because of the heat. He don't look like an old deer, but I am liking what I'm seeing. I mean, I think he would make the 125 mark. Now, I've debated. I don't know if this is the same deer or not. If you notice, he looks like he's got splits there. On the other pictures of the deer, that deer we seen earlier, there was no split. So I don't know if this is the same deer or not. It's still a good deer. You know, it would qualify. Here we got two deer. This deer here, I think he's going to probably fall short of it. He's going to be he's going to be an 8-pointer. The other one, I'm wondering if that's I don't think that's the same deer from earlier, but he looks wide too. I mean, you can see his ears and that. Now, one of the things I've noticed when I talk about that, just so you understand, once those antlers get out past those ears, they get out there pretty good. That tells me that that's usually a 3.5-year-old deer or better. And, you know, where if you see this deer here, it kind of looks like his width is really, doesn't look like his antlers have made it out there past his ears yet. Plus, he doesn't show a lot of characteristics of a 3.5-year-old deer. He's still got the straight back. He doesn't really have a sag belly or anything like that. I don't think, you can see the deer coming in back over there. And I don't know, again, I think these are the same deer. They just got running around a little bit and things like that. And that's why they, you know, did like they did, moving around. This deer here, I don't think he'll be one that'll make the hit list. I just don't think he's going to develop that in. I think it's actually that 8-point from earlier. Hey, I want to really thank you for your support. If you would, just take a moment, subscribe to the channel by either clicking on the watermark or the subscribe button. Also, smash that bell if you want to be notified of every time we post a new video in the series, and hit the like button. Let's get back into it. So our next deer here, of course, you know, no, he's not going to be one of them that I'm going to be putting on the hit list this year. But, you know, he is something that's going to be one of our future deer. And just with what little there he's got, it looks like he's developing pretty good. This is a daylight picture. I'm trying to see, looking at the camera monitor. This deer here, I'm going to show you a better picture. He's nubby. His antlers are nubby, and he looks like a young deer. See if we can find a better picture. Okay, well, this is one now. I threw this in. This is from last year. We did a camera check, and I've never seen a coyote just pose for the camera. And I've had that picture as well since October of last year. I mean, it's just one that I think is pretty cool. I mean, it's just like he's sitting there watching the camera, you know, like he's posing, like, here I am. Okay, we're at a different location now. This deer here, I'm really wondering about him. this is one I'm going to really be looking and watching for. This side over here is kind of wide. It's palmated, and I'm just really wanting to see what he develops into. I mean, that one side doesn't look wide, but this side over here does. I'm going to say probably that antler might have got damaged last year or something from just the looks of it. So I'm kind of waiting to see what he can possibly develop into, because he don't look like an old deer. This picture here, it's not really that good. I don't know why I really threw it in there. Okay, now this deer here, the one here, possibilities. Another 8-pointer. His antlers, looks like his antler width is about the tip of his ear, so that's about a 16-inch spread there. He looks like he might develop, good length on his times and stuff in that. I mean, it's only July now. It is July. I know you're going to see the date say it says January. I goofed up there. Excuse me, I goofed up there, but everything else is right. It was the 28th of July. Or I'm sorry, no, that can't be right either. That was June 28th, because that camera was out then, so that was June 28th is when that was out. So I need to mark that in my notes. This deer here, I think he'll be an up-and-comer. I mean, he's got, he's going to be a 6-point. Looks like he's already starting to develop good width and stuff. Same deer, just kind of a different angle. I like, I really hope to get a lot of different angles. That way I can really try to judge these deer. There's the little deer we was talking about. That's kind of a better picture of him. He looked right at the camera almost. Like I said, if you look, you see the width. He's got the width starting, so I think, a couple more years, that deer will make a hit list. I got the deer here. Now, this one here probably won't make it. This was right after a rain. It rained that day, but he's an up-and-comer, and I mean, that's the thing about it you got to look at, is you got to look at, what the future holds for you on that property and stuff, because I know a lot of guys, they go in, and if there's 2 or 3, let's say you got 2 or 3 guys on a property, yeah, you all want to shoot bucks. But you got to look at the caliber of bucks and decide, do you want to shoot just a buck to shoot a buck, or how you want to do it. Now, I know there's some people out there going to say, oh, you're nothing but a trophy hunter. No, I do hunt trophies. I'm not going to deny it. But what I kind of use as a management strategy is I shoot the does for the meat, because I got a son that eats like crazy. And then, yeah, I do shoot the bucks for the antlers, but we do use the meat. I don't want to think, that I just go out there and shoot a buck and, we don't take the meat. We do take the meat. But like I said, there's always an abundance of does, and by doing trail cam pictures and observations and that, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what your herd is, what it can support, on how many can be taken from the herd, and things like that. So don't let that discourage you. I don't plant food plots. I used to, and I got away from it because there's enough corn and beans, and that's how the deer has always survived anyway, so why spend that extra money? I figure instead of me putting $1,000 or more into a food plot, well, that's a hunt, or equipment or whatever. Let's see what else we got. Okay, this deer here, now this is on the camera when we did the segment on, I think it was deer inventory. I showed putting up the cameras. This deer here was on the road. Now this is just a little deer, but I wanted you to see by the camera placement how well that photo took. And there is an act to putting up cameras. A lot of times people put cameras up, and then when they go get their pictures, the pictures are either whited out or they're darkened out. They miss deers in that. So when you get done watching this video, search back in my collection of videos, and you will see I've got a video there. It's tips on setting up trail cameras, and I go over a lot of things, a lot of strategies I use when I set up cameras. And when I started using those strategies, I started getting better pictures. I started getting pictures like this, and the ones you've seen earlier, because I got a little bit, I ain't gonna say smarter, but wiser on how I was setting up my cameras. Okay, well, we know who that guy is. Okay, so I went and looked real quick. I pulled that card July 15th. I put those cameras in somewhere around the middle of June. So basically they've had about 3 weeks, maybe 4 at the most. I am pumped. I'm seeing some bucks on there that I do think will make my hit list. Hit list is going to be a minimum of 125 or bigger. And that's all I'm looking for to make, to make the Pope and Young. It's 125 or bigger. So, I mean, I'm not looking to have to score a 200-inch deer. I mean, they're not on the property. And that's one thing to really think about, too. If you decide you want to set a goal to shooting a certain class deer, whether it be a 125, 130, 140, don't get discouraged. But think about it. If you don't, when you look at your cameras and that, if you don't have those deer showing up on the cameras, then it's time to start looking other ways. That's one reason I hunt both private and public. Is I'm in search for those deer, and if I find a piece of public ground that I think has a deer on there that'll qualify for what I'm wanting, then yeah, I'm gonna hunt him. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna put cameras up. I'm gonna put stands up. One thing I'm really excited about trying out this year is I've ordered a tree saddle. And that, I think, is going to make me more mobile than anything. It's lightweight, so I'm hoping, from everything I've seen on it, studied in that, I think that's going to be the ticket for me to help me not only this year, but in years to come, and things like that. Now, just to let you know, our last video we did was on e-scouting. So you got this video. So the video after this is going to be titled Boots on the Ground. And that's where we're actually going to go out. I'm going to go out to that property, and I'm going to scout it. I'm going to take the camera, and I'm going to film everything. I've actually planned on already doing that. But here in the Midwest, we've came up with a heat wave. We got temperatures like 100 with the heat indexes, 105 and up. And I just don't really see any reason in going in and doing that and making myself miserable. Possibly, end up with heat exhaustion or something like that. That's just going to set me back. I've already watched the forecast, and the nice thing about it is next week it's going to go back down. Yeah, the temperatures are still going to be in the 90s, but we're not going to have all that humidity in that, so make it a little bit easier on this old man. So hey, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We will be doing another card pull. We'll pull the cards again, like I said, somewhere near the end of August, and at that point we'll put the hit list together and go from there. So until next time, good hunting. Well, hey, I just want to take a moment and thank you for watching this video. I urge you to please, if you would, help me out if you would subscribe to the channel by either clicking the subscribe button or the little watermark over here in the corner. Also, if you want to be notified of every time we post new content, click on the bell. I would really appreciate your comments, questions, or concerns. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching.